Hey, let's dive into ServiceNow earnings. Daniel, was that company able to ride the AI transactional wave?
You've put out some good tweets this week. I've seen a little snark in the Moorhead, Twitter wave about agents, about agent advertising, about competition, and there seems to be a war being fought between CEO Mark Benioff and Salesforce and Microsoft right now, but very quietly, or maybe not so quietly anymore. ServiceNow seems to be building a platform and a series of agents and announcing partnership after partnership and just absolutely annihilating growth of enterprise software. And it did it again. So, you're talking about a beating across the board. Yeah, I had the chance to spend some time with CEO Bill McDermott the day of earnings. The actual number of releases that came out with the earnings was palpable. Partnerships with Rimini, partnerships with numerous consulting firms, big consulting firms, partnerships with Databricks, with Snowflake, and a new NVIDIA building out generative agents partnership that right now looks very, very promising. Tons of growth in the company's large customer base, over 5 million, over 1 million. They had 15 deals over 5 million in ACV, up 50% on a year-over-year basis. 6 deals over 10 million. The company's deal size is growing palpably, and this has a lot to do with the fact that they're moving from kind of this ITSM company to this, we do everything that you can do with data, and we're going to do it on the Now platform with agents. And I think they're not so quietly a competitor now to everybody. And that's kind of an interesting change. They had a great opportunity to coexist, but isn't that often how competition rises? They rise right alongside until they get big enough, they get enough cash flow, they get enough growth, and then they can start to hammer into areas. So they've expanded into HR, digital experiences, CRM, and now they're really talking about data management. So Bill talked on the call about this $200+ billion data management opportunity. And Pat, how much time have we spent talking over the years about the data fabric, the impact of a hybrid data fabric, the opportunity for applications to be able to point at data across different data architectures and types and do so in a way that can enable less abstractions, more answers, more efficiency inside the enterprise, and the opportunity for agents to do what agents can ultimately do for the company, which is navigate and orbit between different enterprise software silos to be able to provide the best generative outcomes and outputs and be able to reason through a multiple layer set of decisions, to help companies understand opportunities, understand attrition, understand supply chain complexities, understand service gaps. And that's where it's all heading. Now, again, some of this talk, and I wrote that piece this week about apps going away. I think it's a little sensational. I even put it in my tweet when I wrote the story. But over time, what is going to happen is Pat, I'll say it. You can shake your head and disagree with me. No one likes using their app, their enterprise apps. They're just not. And I'm not saying you disagree. I'm saying you can if you want. But nobody that I know is really like, I love my experience of trying to get a report out of NameTool, Oracle, SAP, Salesforce, Dynamics. It's not like one is great and the rest are bad. It's like no one really thinks it's great, but we also know that our entire business sits on top of these data sets and we need to know what's going on. So the idea that if you kind of like the experiences of generative tools like not Copilot itself, but OpenAI, like Anthropic and their LLMs, and you want to be able to just use multimodal to ask a question. Hey, show me my next 30 days, my best sales opportunities, and to be able to navigate across all your platforms, all your data, all your tools to be able to generate in real time a dashboard based on role and permissions and all the sovereignty of data and not all that doing it one time. That's where it's got to go. Whether this is going to get us there, that's where it has to go. And that's what I see. Bill is very adamant that this is the company that's going to get it done. Are they the company that's going to get done? I mean, look, I let the growth speak for itself. It's hard to argue with this many quarters of growing at 2 and even 3 times the enterprise software market, according to our intelligence. So that speaks to a lot of what's been going on. I think there's an opportunity, and if Microsoft and Salesforce are going to have it out, it could be an interesting opportunity for ServiceNow to quietly just come right through the middle of them as they are having it out. But I also think that these companies all get partnerships, they get ecosystem, Pat. So a lot there. I didn't hit tons and tons of detail on the earning. The last thing I'll leave about the earnings is huge RPO, huge backlog, which means the next few quarters look very optimistic for the company, because as you know, that's kind of how SaaS works.
Yeah, good breakdown here. Sorry about all the coughing here. I did a 500 row at the very end of my workout, and I'm pretty freaking gassed. Yeah, it was tough. I did hit above average, but I expected to do be superior to my age group. I did very good, but not as good as I would have liked. I also did it at the end of my workout, not at the beginning. Yeah, ServiceNow. I went to their Big Ten event with you in Las Vegas, where we did some selfie analysis with a lot of the senior execs, not only from ServiceNow but also Jensen and Michael Dell. Was pretty awesome. But two big things came out of that. First of all, is the declaration that we want to be the AI transaction layer on top of these enterprise SaaS apps that have a crappy experience. And yes, they do. They're absolutely horrible. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you that right now. And I think when we look at what a good experience is, there are things like on a smartphone, right? These are not like that. And it's not just putting a better UI layer, but it's putting the transaction layer. So you can actually do something with that. One conversation, very important conversation that began that again, I had the most questions on was, what's your data management strategy? I felt a little bit like it caught ServiceNow off guard a bit because of all the questions, but to their credit, within a month of their Big Tent event, they really leaned in and they had a much, I think, a better articulation of what their data management strategy is and what it needs to be going on forward. Now, like you said, we've been talking about data management before AI for a long time here. And we also got to give Mark Benioff credit at Salesforce. He hit this super hard, and his biggest growth percentage-wise is from his data cloud. Hats off, though, to ServiceNow on, where we're looking at enterprise SaaS hitting it at single digits right now, industry-wide. And now there are pockets like with, certain ERP vendors that we might be talking about soon that are having some pretty good growth. And we've seen some pretty good growth from Oracle ERP, but the rest is not great. And I think a lot of that is, first of all, some digestion left over from the pandemic, but also budget shifting to AI. And I think that's hurting, quite frankly, the uplift in the overall market.